Hi, I'm Kathryn Delaney, and this is today's tarot for October 17th, 2020. The first card that we have today is the Temperance card. This is the 14th major arcana. It's typically associated with Sagittarius and ruled by Jupiter. So this is a card that is telling us that there's some kind of help that's going to come in today, and it's going to be in the realm of how we actually see things, because Jupiter is an expansive energy and gives perspective and also brings expansion and generosity to areas in our life. And when we look at this card, we can see that the individual is, mentally focused on something, and that's changing form in their range of view. They're also holding two cups that are pouring an energy between them that it's not pouring, like a normal gravitational pour, like, water would pour. It's pouring at a direction, at a, slanted direction. So it's speaking to some kind of alchemy that's happening, and some way of seeing things that is actually bringing a new type of help to a situation, and the situation itself stirring possibly us reaching to our higher self and asking our higher self for guidance and reaching to something higher, and to have a sense of hope. This is definitely a positive card. The second card that we have for today is the Two of Pentacles. Pentacles are matters that have to do with finances and material concerns, also matters around the body. This is a card that is telling us to have harmony in the midst of chaos and change. Okay, so if you are this individual here who is walking this tightrope and trying to balance these different concerns that they have, that they do value and that bring value to their life, while there's this, ebb and flowing waterway behind them, which represents emotions. This is telling that there is change that's coming, but to keep your focus on what's in front of you, not necessarily like the shakiness under your feet. I don't know if you've ever actually had the opportunity to try to walk on a tightrope, and I say try because I wasn't very successful at it. I did it a little bit, and I had the most success when I would just set my sights on what was in front of me and not actually put my attention on trying to mentally balance what I was standing on. And that's the message, is how do you balance within the chaos? You manage what's in front of you, you keep your eyes on what's in front of you, and you follow through. The third card that we have for today is the Knight of Wands, which is a card of action. It can also tell us that, we can sometimes have, we want to act towards things and do something, but we don't necessarily know what it takes to follow through to actually make that thing happen. And so the message in this card is to follow through, right? Like, you can't stop walking on the tightrope. I just discovered a funny bone in my wrist. That's weird. You can't stop halfway through the tightrope and get where you're going. You have to follow through. You have to act when you get the sense to act, when you get the message and the the guidance to act. Now, when we consider this card in the realm of what's astrologically going on right now, this card is a Sagittarius ruled major arcana, and it's governed by Jupiter, because Sagittarius is governed by Jupiter. And Jupiter right now is in a very interesting position. We have Venus, which is in Virgo, which is actually in a trine relationship with Jupiter because they're both in earth signs. And then we also simultaneously have Mars, which is in Aries, even though it is in retrograde, and it's sitting in square relationship to Jupiter. So Jupiter has like this positive relationship going on with Virgo, And Venus, or Venus in Virgo, even though that's not necessarily Venus's ideal sign to be in. And then we also have Jupiter, which isn't necessarily in its ideal sign to be in. But they're in a positive relationship, so they're working with us and bringing us some sort of help and compassion today in the midst of this kind of struggle with the Mars energy that's retrograde. And Mars and in Aries is that sense of self that has this desire and fieriness to want to go out and do certain things, and feels restricted in a lot of ways because of the square relationship that is going on with not only Jupiter but also Saturn and Pluto, which are, you know, on either side of Jupiter by just a couple degrees. So there's a lot of energy going on in the sky, and it doesn't necessarily surprise me that this card showed up. So, you know, consider that there are, like, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation that like it was a totally new situation. Like, for instance, I was traveling once, and I was traveling from Guatemala. I was in Guatemala, and all of a sudden there was a blizzard in Colorado, and there was a weird money embezzlement thing in the country of Guatemala. So I had to get out of Guatemala, but I couldn't come back to Colorado because there was a blizzard. So I had to figure out how to get to my plane that was going to happen in a couple weeks in Mexico by another way other than how I was intending to go through it, which was like, you know, waiting, like being in Guatemala for a few more weeks and then taking my plane from Guatemala to Mexico. And I couldn't do that because I had no money, because, you know, there was a weird money embezzlement thing in the country happening. So I set out on this adventure. One of the friends that I was there at this, I performed with this band down in Tikal. I was one of the, like, spirit prayer dancers and fire dancers for them. And so that's why I was down there. And so I had to figure out how to get back. And one of the people that was in my hostel had a family member in Mexico. And so we were traveling, and there was this whole confusion around how we should get there, and if we should take a plane or if we should take a bus, and, you know, what kind of, like, you know, possibilities are there even in Mexico for travel to get different places. It was very chaotic. And I ended up just, like, responding to everything that came up. Like, if something was like, you should ask somebody about where you're going, I just asked because somebody there spoke English. And every single thing that happened because I put it out there that I needed help, and I was given this guidance and this help through this, like, really stressful situation. Because it was on holiday, it was like Christmas Eve that we were traveling to. And so there is help out there, and it can come by guidance, and it can come by thoughts, and it can come by, like, a new way of seeing something, you know, and, like, following that, and to just remember what your main goal is and where you're going and what's important to you, because that's ultimately what's going to ground you. And follow through with that. Follow through with the things that you do that take care of yourself, and follow through with reaching out to individuals and making sure you connect with individuals, and with whatever guidance ultimately that you are given. So that's the reading for today. As promised, I'm also going to put out a little clip on numerology, because I've been getting a lot of downloads through meditation in regard to sharing some things you know, about the chakra system and how it works, and how I use that in meditation, and how I found that it's helpful. And so I just want to share some of that, the foundations of numerology, because it helps me meditate with the chakra system and understand tarot. So look out for that soon if you go to my YouTube channel. Other than that, I hope you are well. Please take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.